Look at the opening chapter of the Tianxian Zhengli Ji Lun Zhengju. On the surface, it reads like a recipe for medieval magic. It gives instructions for forging medicine inside cauldrons, applying fire, and refining Jing, Qi, and Shen for literal immortality. For centuries, readers took this language at face value. Practitioners built actual furnaces, attempting to forge golden elixirs. Many poisoned themselves by ingesting heavy metals, or triggered severe neurological damage by forcing their bodies into extreme breath-holding routines. Yet the authors of the text explicitly warned against doing exactly that. This section clearly states, "Do not mistake medicine for a physical substance to ingest. Do not mistake cauldron for an external object. Do not mistake fire for literal heat." If the medicine isn't a pill and the fire isn't hot, we are left with a massive translation problem. We have to figure out what highly specific, real-world process this elaborate code was designed to protect. The text identifies a specific pattern of human suffering, starting with the way we lose ourselves in external stimuli. Reading here, the text identifies a constant, exhausting outward drain on our biological resources. We leak attention into noise, status, fear, and endless sensory stimulation. As a result, our minds become scattered, our breathing turns rough, and our nervous systems lock into chronic tension. To survive this level of daily cognitive fragmentation, we need a mechanism to pull those scattered pieces back to a stable center. We need exactly the toolset the ancient Taoists were building. Once you strip away the mystical metaphors, this document reveals itself as an engineering manual for the human body-breath-mind system. Those legendary three treasures of Taoist alchemy, Jing, Qi, and Shen, translate directly to biological resources, physiological regulation, and conscious awareness. The medicine describes the stable internal condition that appears when your body, breathing, and awareness gather and stabilize into a single regulated state. This passage breaks down the rest of the laboratory equipment. The cauldron is your inner stabilizing center, the fire is the intensity of effort you apply, and the timing is knowing when to push forward, soften, or stop. The authors mapped out the parameters of human psychophysiology centuries before modern science existed, using the only vocabulary available to them. So, how does a practitioner physically operate this internal machinery to reach that highly regulated state? The primary mechanical lever is respiration. Breathing is the only physiological function in the human body that is both entirely automatic and capable of being consciously controlled. It acts as a physical bridge between your voluntary attention and your autonomic nervous system. By applying gentle, conscious influence to the rhythm of your breath, you send direct signals down that bridge to lower your heart rate, reduce stress arousal, and smooth out the jagged spikes of an anxious nervous system. But look at the text here. It strictly warns against forcing the body into submission. True physiological regulation happens through a natural, calm quieting of the breath, never through crude, high-pressure breath-holding. To safely anchor their attention during this process, practitioners focus on the dantian. Modern readers often search for a hidden anatomical organ, but the dantian is entirely practical. It is simply an internal reference point. Giving your attention a stable, embodied place to settle trains a skill called interoception. This is the scientifically validated ability to accurately sense internal bodily signals, like your heartbeat, warmth, or muscle tension, which is a core requirement for both emotional and executive control. Long before neuroscientists could monitor heart rate variability in a lab, Taoist monks were actively hacking their autonomic nervous systems, using nothing but their attention and the air in their lungs. The original text spans 9 distinct chapters. As you can see in this list, it lays out a strict logical sequence. First, you understand the system, then you train your daily habits, and eventually you settle the breath and quiet the mind. You must follow the sequence. The authors insist that achieving advanced psychological transformation is biologically impossible without first building a durable foundation. If your attention is scattered, desires impulsive, and body tense, attempting to jump to absolute emotional peace will collapse into frustration. We naturally want insight without discipline and calm without having to change our lifestyle. But this summary reduces the first 9 chapters to a single, uncompromising sentence. A human being becomes whole by gathering scattered body, breath, attention, emotion, and desire into one coherent, stable, living awareness. There are no shortcuts. Genuine internal development requires slow, rigorous, sequential integration. As this discipline takes hold, the practitioner moves toward a state where the disparate parts of the self finally start to pull together. This is what it looks like on the page. The scattered person must become gathered. The reactive person must become stable. The restless breath must become calm. This book is a pragmatic framework designed to take the human mind from its default chaotic state and reconstruct it into an anchored, regulated machine. Taoist alchemy is the deliberate art of transforming a scattered existence into one unified life. It teaches that genuine inner development begins not with magic, but with the careful training of attention, breath, body awareness, emotional steadiness, and disciplined self-regulation.